We support this bill on behalf of our Telugu Desam party. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Up, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh ji to reply the discussion. Continue.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय. सबसे पहले तो I have to thank all the honorable members who have given their valuable inputs. We had Mr. Jairam Ramesh ji, we had Kiran Chaudhary ji, Sagarika Ghosh ji, and Mr. P. Wilson, Sandeep Kumar Pathak ji, Ayodhya Ram Reddy ji, Mazbullah Khan Sahab, Professor Manoj Jha, Thiru M. Thambidurai, Madam Sudha Murthy ji, K.R. Suresh Reddy ji, A. Rahman ji, Ram Gopal ji, Ram ji, Jaggesh ji, Harshvardhan Shringla ji, and just now we heard Dr. Parmar, Kartikeya Sharma ji, Dr. K. Lakshman ji, Shrimati Majhi ji, Shri Ghanshyam Tiwari ji, Shri Ajit Madhav Rao ji, Bhim Singh ji, Brijlal ji, Harish Bieran ji, Sunir ji, Masthan Rao Yadav ji. I have taken down all the notes, and I'm sure we will be able to take the best out of this. Not taking the risk of being repetitive, because lot much has already been said about the bill, and many of the members have also dealt on the different aspects of it. So I'll just like to clarify certain of the aspects which have come up एडवर्टेंटली इनएडवर्टेंटली. कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि वो इंटरप्रिटेशन में थोड़ा सा फर्क रहा है, कुछ मेंबर्स ने उसको अपने ढंग से देखा है. कहीं लगा है कि पूरा बिल पढ़ने में थोड़ी दिक्कत रही होगी, क्योंकि इट्स अ वेरी वॉल्यूमिनस बिल. एज जयराम जी वाज सेइंग दैट वी हैव रिविजिटेड 3 provisions and they created one voluminous manual out of that. The Atomic Energy Act of 1962, the CLND of 2021, and added to that is the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, which is now being given a statutory status and being made a part of the Parent Act. So that makes it quite a voluminous thing. Now, there are some contentious points also, which I'll come in the later part of my response, because मैं नहीं चाहता कि शांतिपूर्वक सारी चर्चा हुई है, शुरू में ही शांति भंग हो जाए. So let me start on a positive note. Jairam ji, Ramesh ji started his intervention with the suggestion that when the rules are framed, the views of the others and all stakeholders should also be taken into consideration. I have no hesitation to say that even this bill has taken about 1 year or so, or more than that, of very serious and series of consultations at different levels, interministerial levels, intersecretariat level, with the industry leaders, with the scientific experts, with the business potential partners, even the startups. So all sections of stakeholders, that process is continuing, because it's a new experience for us also, like it is for the others. And it forms a part of a larger ecosystem, which also includes some of the other components, like for example in the nuclear energy mission that was announced in the budget. We also have a provision of small modular reactors, and 20,000 crore was earmarked separately, exclusively for that, which also becomes a part of the larger nuclear mission targets. So similarly, we also recently launched 1 lakh crore of RDI fund, Research Development Innovation Fund, to catalyze the private sector into various scientific initiations, undertakings. And therefore, as I said in the morning, this was a bill which is slightly unorthodox in the sense that it was not very much easily expected that we would come out with a bill which would rather suggest or seek opening up to the private partners. But as I said in the morning, without regretting to reiterate that this was possible because of the personal intervention of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was kind enough to spare time to also engage himself in some of the deliberations related to the bill, and he has the capacity to take out-of-box decisions to break taboos of the past, like it was done in the case of space, when the media reported that space has been unlocked by Prime Minister Modi. Now, As far as some of the points are concerned, before I come to the bill per se to clarify certain things, I would repeatedly it was said, why? Because we are dealing with a subject related to science and being taught not to speak without evidence and to refrain from rhetoric and concentrate more on the facts and figures. So time and again it was said that the LOP in the same house in 2010 had opposed this. And I would say that it was opposed on the merit at that point of time. Now it is being brought forward on the merit on the present context. Because the technology has changed, the scenario has changed. For example, to put it in a simple words, in a single sentence, in 2010, nobody could have thought that there would be something like artificial intelligence happening in the world. The world scenario is changing, and may I add that with each passing day, the pace of change is also. Like, for example, when Aditya was to enter the solar zone, and since we were waiting for it, and then they said, at midnight passed, and they said it will happen early morning. So we thought we could catch up with a few hours of sleep, but it happened even before that. So the change is rapid and change is very dynamically happening. Secondly, the small modular reactors, for example, which are being talked about today, which have become made a part of this mission, were never heard of. We never thought that would happen 15 years back. The safety concerns were also different, because now there are much better safeguards in place. Small reactors has come, as Mr. Jairam also mentioned, small reactors both in the form of Bharat small reactors and also small modular reactors. So, which will be placed in residential areas, in colonies, in factory areas, etc. And therefore, in order to, as I said, the fruits, the outcomes of various other openings to the private participation have been very rewarding. Like one of the members rightly mentioned, the electricity opening up and immediately taking up our outcomes, like the telecoms, and very recently the space, which was also very unorthodox decision. And as I said, when we talk about evidence, when we opened up space about 5 years back, our space economy was dismal. Today it is $8 billion, and the pace is so fast that in the next 8-10 years, we hope to go up 5 times to $45 billion. The concept of space startups was unheard of. Today we have over 300 startups in the space sector. Some of them have turned multi-millionaires, and some of them global potentials. This was possible because the private sector participation was allowed, the FDI was allowed. So, we have, this decision has been quite bold, courageous, also based on the courage of conviction, supported by Honorable Prime Minister, but it is also based on the success stories through the same channel earlier. Now, time and again, some of the members raised the question of safety. Now, may I add over here that the safety has not been compromised in any way, because the safety provisions and safety SOP is the same as it existed before. And that too in the Atomic Energy Act of 1962, which was brought when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister. And the SOP in place clearly mentions the first safety, second production, or first safety first, production next. During the construction of the plant, every 3 months inspection is done. After the plant becomes operational, it is again inspected every 6 months. At the completion of 5 years, the license is to be renewed. The Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, which was earlier supervising this, is now being strengthened, given more teeth, being made a statutory body. And overall, the International Atomic Energy Agency is also supervising the parameters. So I think the honourable members can be rest assured that is being done also by the third party. And even if you go by the various, then somebody said about the seismic risks. India's plants have been located in such a manner that they are far, far away from the seismic vulnerability. For example, on the eastern coast, the nearest seismic zone is in Indonesia, where the Kundakalam is located over 300 kilometers away from there. On the western coast, the nearest is Makran in Pakistan, again about 1300 kilometers away. So, which is far away from the possible effects of it happening. Now, if you go by strictly the radiations happening, now some of the members have also expressed apprehensions that there would be a risk of radiations causing a number of ailments, disorders, cancers, etc. So far, there has been no such instance or report available where a radiation from a reactor in India led to carcinogenic consequences. And I would rather also support it that the measurement of the radiation being emanating from the reactor is done in the form of a unit called microsievert. And 1 milli-microsievert unit or 1000 microsievert per year is the safety limit. Whereas, for example, our project like Kundakulam, we have only 0.002 of this micro unit being emanated, which is far, far, far many times lesser than that. Kalpakam is just about 15.961, whereas the maximum safety limit is 40. Ravlabat is again 25. Tarapur is even less, 0.02, 0.2. So I'm just mentioning this for the reassurance of the honourable members. And not only that, this government has also gone further ahead to another aspect of the security, which is the cyber security. Because, as I said, these concerns were not there in 2010 or even earlier. So we have encryption of sensitive information in storage, secure coding processes, regular backups with logs, and we have technical controls, spams, malware filtering, cyber security audit. So multi-level security is being upgraded depending upon the upgradations in the technology. Now, one of the members said that we have kept it out of the civil code. Now, I don't know how that message has gone. It's just because in the bill we have incorporated one new provision, which is that of the Atomic Energy Redressal Commission. So, Chairman, sir, that is in order to facilitate dispute redressal, like you have in the judiciary also, so that everybody doesn't have to rush to the court. So, you have another option of going to this redressal commission, which is now being made a part of this entire Act, Shanti Bill 2025. And after that you can, so that it's for your facility and for the facility of justice. But you can always go to the civil court after that. You can even go up to the Supreme Court. Nothing prevents, like any other citizen of the country. Then Jairamji said that private sector cannot be allowed to be the engine of growth. I fully agree, but let me also assure that the engine of the growth will be public sector and the engine driver will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Then about thorium, Jairamji is right. There was a paper by Professor Anil Kakodkar who said that since we are proceeding stage by stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, so we can hasten up the process if we use thorium in a mixed form or partly in stage 2. But we have got it studied, and I'm glad to share with the honourable members also that the scientific conclusion, which again Dr. Kakodkar also did not contradict, was that the proposed use of thorium with higher enrichment of uranium is not a sustainable option for thorium reserves. Though it reduces the spent fuel burden, the spent fuel is not suitable for a closed fuel cycle. Hence, it is not a sustainable utilization, which can only be done with the Stage 3 program, unless alternatively we have a molten salt breeder reactor. So I agree, if we are now in the process of developing one. So if we have molten breeder reactors, then we would be able to follow that also. But as of now, we are not in a position scientifically to follow the hypothesis or the postulation given by Dr. Kakodkar. Then there was an apprehension that we would be allowing mining. I don't know how it has gone there. Actually, it is very clearly mentioned. Exploration may be allowed to the private partners. But mining, if it is uranium quantity is found to be more than a certain limit, which will be decided after further deliberation in the rules itself, the private partners will not be allowed. Similarly, also somebody expressed apprehension about the spent fuel being handled by the private. No, not at all. We have an SOP in place. to begin with, the spent fuel is kept in the reactor. Then after about 5 years so, it is kept close to the reactor, which is called away from reactor storage for about 30, 40 years, 50 years. And then again, when it is taken out, it will be again in the charge of the government authorities, not the private players. So there is enough safeguard and capability. Then there is Manoj Jha, professor, rightly mentioned that there should be no compromise on sovereignty. And Madam Sudha Murthy has also rightly tried to correct that apprehension of this poetic reference to East India Company, which I'm sure may not, maybe because of his aptitude for poetry, he made that poetic reference, but the context is not so. तो वो आप तो शायर भी हैं, तो फैज़ अहमद फैज़ का एक बड़ा मशहूर शेर है, आपने सुना ही होगा कि वो बात सारे फसाने में जिसका जिक्र ना था, वो बात उनको बहुत नागुजार गुजरी है. तो ये बात then there has been, अच्छा, Professor Saab again mentioned one more, that US model is not the best practice. We are open to adopt best practice suited to Indian conditions, also not compromising with our own practices as well as our traditional knowledge. Maybe he was speaking conditioned by what we have witnessed in the past government. And therefore, with your permission, Chairman Sir, I refer to page number 103 of the book One Life is Not Enough by late K. Natwar Singh Ji. And he writes, and I quote, and I can lay the quote, at the dinner, Manmohan informally told me that I was getting external affairs and Arjun Singh, the Ministry of Human Resource Development. But after dinner, Sonia asked me to come over with her. She told me that she was under great pressure from various quarters, including Americans, to not appoint me as External Affairs Minister. And therefore, would I consider taking another ministry? With some heat, I turned down the suggestion. So it's left up to the members that there is, as I said in the beginning, I respect you, Jairamji. As I said, I would not speak in the beginning because I didn't want to bhang the Shanti right in the beginning. But as I have to put the record straight.
Please.
किताब का नाम लेना, किताब का petition book.
अब actually,
please, Jairamji, let him speak.
I am simply referring to what is written in the book. So, as I said, I will not speak without evidence. So I am there with evidence to each and every. Then,
कोई और बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं, please.
Then, again and again, it was referred by Ma'am Sangrika also, so-called high-profile cronies, government favorites. So she belongs to the enlightened genre of journalists. Maybe it is from them that we learned that during the Union Carbide case, how Anderson was transported from Bhopal to Delhi. But please don't judge us by what has been learned by you through the conditioning of the previous governments. Or, if you permit me, even the case of Ottavia Quartorochi, whose lookout, and you reported, your journal reported all this, whose lookout was cancelled in Argentina. So maybe conditioned by the mindset which has been reporting such things, you think this government also would.
Hey, what is this?
Hey, please take your seat. Please take your seat. You are not allowed to speak. Please, let him speak. बोलिए माननीय जितेंद्र सिंह आप.
What? I have not spoken a word without quoting facts. Whereas what you said was
आप
without
बैठ
facts.
कर ना बोले
You
प्लीज
made allegation of the
Without
government's
facts.
crony friends. You, Chairman sir, if I was to respond, I have to put the record straight. There were allegations of government's crony friends, government-friendly business houses, without giving any facts, without laying any evidence. I have laid evidence. So what is wrong? And I have learned from you only because you belong to a learned journal. Anyway, now sir, coming to the body of the bill, because I won't take long, because I believe the next bill is going to be, as I mentioned in the morning also, despite all the measures taken by the government, it was still realized that we need to do much more, and the investment also needs to be much more. As was mentioned that in the earlier government, the former Prime Minister also said that we will go up to a certain limit of gigawatts by 2020, but that could not happen. And it is understandable because we were bound by certain self-imposed constraints. So we have sought to undo those. The liability clause, yes, and then there was also a mention that the environmental damage is not being taken care of. If you see Chapter 2, the definition of nuclear damage has been expanded, and now it also includes the environmental damage. Then, as far as Section 3 is concerned of the Chapter 2, that defines the various tasks that can be undertaken with the public participation jointly, otherwise. But there are also embargoes which are given in Section 9, which include the source material and fissile material will be in the authority of the government, in the jurisdiction of the government. The spent fuel, again, would be government property. The heavy water, though that may not be that dangerous a prospect, but still, we are not taking any chances. It's just D2O, just as water is H2O, this is daughter oxide, so it changes little its chemical and proton so that it has a longer life and plays a coolant role. But still, we are not leaving it to risk so that it is not subject to any risk of misuse. Now, this new redressal commission is what is being introduced that I mentioned already, and the duties of the licensee and the authorization holder have been very strictly defined as far as the operations are concerned, as the compliance is concerned. Even the transportation of the nuclear material will be guarded by certain safeguards. The responsibilities have been fixed. Now, it's also not that the supplier will go scot-free. That's not. That is up to the operator. Operator is free to have an understanding or a written agreement with the supplier, and then it is between him and us. But as far as the government is concerned, we will be dealing only with the operator. So it is same as it was in the CL&D of 2010, the Section 16. There were three clauses, A, B, C. So B was the one which was referred to the recourse of liability to the supplier. That has been removed. The others remain the same, which includes what I have already mentioned. And
please.
However, to be.
Seize on point of order.
However,
Honorable Minister, seize on point of order. हाँ, rule number
238A.
238A, please. आप मत बोले, please, let her speak, please.
Sir, no allegation of a defamatory or incriminatory nature shall be made by a member against any other member or a member of the House unless the member making the allegation has given previous intimation to the chairman and also to the minister concerned.
It will be examined. Thank you. Honorable Minister, no point of order. Sagrika ji, please sit.
Sir, on the one hand, I am referring to ma'am as a member of a learned genre, and I am trying to learn from them and quoting them what has been reported by them for the last 20 years. So I am rather as a student following you. No defamation. You should be proud of us.
Honorable Minister, please.
Anyway,
please.
There is no defamation. I am appreciating you. I said what you reported about Union Carbide, Anderson case, I am reproducing.
Please,
what
please.
you reported about Hawaii.
Please speak on the subject.
Now, sir, there is some misconception about the reactor capping being limited. It's not so. Jairamji has gone through thoroughly. Earlier it was fixed as 1500. Now we have done it in different grades. And there's a reason behind that, so that we also don't discourage the small investors. For example, somebody wants to put a small modular reactor. Somebody wants to put a 300 megawatt, 150 megawatt, a small reactor. So we would not subject it to the same liability. We will subject it to the liability of 300 crore, which also negates the impression that it is only for high-profile cronies. Even the low-profile cronies have been made a part of this bill. So the low-profile cronies can come in. So that was the reason for grading it.
Please,
No,
please.
I'm repeating what you said.
Please.
I am repeating because you know better English language than me. So I am using your vocabulary. Crony word came from you. I do not use uncivilized vocabulary often. That's why to Professor Jha, I try to rebut through Faiz Ahmed Faiz instead of indulging elsewhere. Then secondly, sir, this 3,000 or whatever cap is not the final. Suppose the damage goes up to 20,000 crore or more. The victim or the damage will be fully compensated. Then we'll go on to what is called the Nuclear Liability Fund, which will be created by the government through sources. And then finally to the Convention of Supplementary Compensation, to which many other countries are also a party. So I think that is quite a reassuring part of the provision that has been provided. And I think I have spoken almost all of these aspects earlier also, and many of my only now in the end, my submission is that yes, now we are also including the health sector, and in the response to one of the questions, as I said in the morning, we have made very big headways in the last 1 decade. We have come out with cancer treatment through nuclear medicine for acute lymphoblastic leukemia in children, which is commonly known as the blood cancer of children. We've come out with a possible remedy for prostatic cancer, all through nuclear medicine, through the Tata Memorial Center and other sectors. And we are now rapidly making headways. So we have therefore also liberalized the research work, because many of the private institutes are doing beautiful research work in other domains of science. So why deprive ourselves from there? So we have health sector, we have agriculture sector, we have food preservation, and of course we have the security sector also, which of course this bill may not per se be addressing, because this is meant more for civilian, because the uranium enrichment over here will be limited to that range, which is only meant for reactors and not for the weapons, nuclear weapons, etc. So we have tried to extend the range depending on the contemporary requirements, so that India not only becomes Atmanirbhar, it also reduces its dependence on the other sources of energy or on the fossil sources which might be coming from the other quarters. And our target is therefore by 2025, we have already reached 8.9, 2032, 22 gigawatt, 2037, 47 gigawatt, 2042, 67 gigawatt, and 2047, if we are able to follow the roadmap that we have envisaged, we will be 100 gigawatt, and we would be contributing nearly 10% of the energy requirement. And the energy requirement, as some of the members very rightly put it, will be highly dependent on the nuclear source also, because when we have artificial intelligence coming in a big way, this will be the most reliable, steady 24/7 source of energy, unlike some other renewable sources. So I am sure all of us are on the same page. We would move together in good spirit, and wherever there are concerns and wherever there are inputs, we are welcome, we are ready to entertain them as we move on, even during the formation of rules. Thank you very much, Chairman, sir.
Sir, I thank the Minister for an exhaustive reply. I just want to bring to his attention one fact. He repeatedly talked about SMRs, small and modular reactors. So I have here an article written by a very eminent nuclear scientist who is broadly in agreement with the bill that you are going to pass. Dr. Grover, he has written this article in Current Science, which is a preeminent scientific journal.
Please
of
be
India.
brief, Jairam ji.
So the point he's making is, there is a difference between a small modular reactor and a Bharat small reactor. There are 80 different designs of small and modular reactors.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
small,
Honourable
one second,
Minister.
sir, one second.
Thank you.
Small and
Please
modular
conclude.
reactors
Please.
produce more radioactive waste
Thank you.
and use more fuel per unit of electricity
Thank you, Jairam
generated.
ji.
The Bharat small reactor
Please,
is a
Jairam ji.
standardized
I'm not
design.
allowed. Please,
so I
please,
request
please,
not to be
please,
made by
please,
foreign
please, not. Jairam ji, please conclude. Please.
No, I think,
Honourable Minister.
there is some miscommunication. Absolutely not. If you want, I'll repeat it. I agree with you. Small modular reactor is different from structurally itself. That's why the name modular. Whereas the small reactor is small otherwise. Yes, but the advantage that India enjoys compared to other countries is that for small modular reactor also, the cutoff is about 200 to 300 megawatt. In India, we already have small size reactors because of our constraints of resources. In the US, they have very large reactors. We somehow could not afford that. So we have smaller reactors, as Jairam ji is rightly mentioning. So some of them are small reactors. Now, it will be easier for us to convert these small reactors into the modular form because the size is already there, only the technology, the structure has to be. So that's an added advantage to us. I agree with him. And now that the point has been raised for the benefit of the members, the target that we have laid down for ourselves till 2033 is one Bharat small modular reactor. That is Bharat but small. That will be 200 megawatt. Two small modular reactors, as the Honourable Member Jairam ji is mentioning. So we have targeted in total 5 small ones, which will also include small modular reactor of 55 megawatt, which will be a smaller strength, and one high temperature gas cooled reactor, the H2 GCR 5 megawatt, which will be more of hydrogen driven, and that has its own applications. And fifth one we are working on so that we could meet that target of 5 small reactors by 2033.
Thank you. I shall now put the amendment moved by Dr. V. Sivadasan for